And the reason why I did not finish at a go is because I don't want you guys to get confused. I am taking you guys step by step. All the things I've taught you on the switch, I could have taught it in one class and drop all my labs, but I don't want you guys to get confused, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed. There's no rush here. The most important thing is to do a great job, because we are building the foundation. And once you grab this foundation very well, you are good to go. So in today's class, I want to talk more about Telnet. We did it in when we first started, and then we're going to move to SSH. Telnet and SSH. Telnet and SSH. Don't ever forget this. This is very important. So what is this Telnet all about? It is used for remote login. I have demonstrated that in that class. It is used for remote login, meaning what? We have a switch. Since we are still talking about switch now, in our next class, we're going to move to a router. We have a switch somewhere, let's say in Port Harcourt. It's on a network in Port Harcourt. And that is where Aliyu works. He's the senior network administrator. For some reason, Aliyu travels to the UK. And they now call, oh God, there's a problem, or we don't know what's going on, or so many things are going on, blah, 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 on the network. Ali is in the UK. He can't come to Port Harcourt or in the spot, or it does not need to come to Port Harcourt. So Ali, can log in remotely from the UK into the switch and do some research or do some checks. And that is what we call remote logging. And I'm not talking VPN now. That's what we call remote logging. So Ali, can use Telnet, which you are advised not to ever use. It's not secure. And Ali, can use SSH, which is our preference. So in today's class, I want to grab a switch, prepare the switch for Telnet, see how it works. We've done it before, just for emphasis sake. Then progress from Telnet to SSH, and then see how it works. So there are so many things to learn in today's class, so make sure you grab them. Very important for us. So why is it that Telnet is not advisable? Anything Ali is doing with this switch, if I happen to grab the packets, or what we call, I establish a connection, man in the middle, I can grab all the messages, because all the conversation with that switch is in plain text. Plain text. Everything is clear, it's clean, as in it's not encrypted, it's not coded. But if Ali has log into the switch using SSH, SSH is encrypted. SSH is encrypted. So even if I grab all the messages in between, whatever he's doing, or in between him and the switch, if I grab anything in between, I can't make sense of any of those things, because everything is encrypted. So that is why we say don't ever use Telnet. But you need to know about Telnet. And don't forget the port. Telnet runs on port 23. SSH runs on port 22. Those are some of the things we discussed when we started OSI model stuff. So I'm going to bring a switch out. I'm going to set up the switch basic configuration, and then move to Telnet into the switch, demonstrate that. Then we leave that and now go to setting up the switch for SSH. And the good thing about what I'm doing now right now with you guys, by the time we come to the router, is the same thing we have done on the switch, we're going to be doing on the router. So I'm not going to struggle with you guys. I'm not going to stress myself. It's the same thing. SSH and it's the same thing. So that's why once you grab this one, the other ones are just walkover. It would be walkover for you. So take note of that one. So let me bring a switch out. So don't forget, I'll click the switch, grab a switch out. Then I'll click computer, bring out the computer. I am not trying to connect this computer to the switch for data connection, guys. I am trying to configure the switch. What will I do? I'll go to cable and then click console. Then go to the computer and click RS232. That is our serial port connection. I've explained that. Then you go to the switch. If you click the switch, guys, look at all the ports we have on the switch. from fast internet down to gigabit. These are all for data connection, but that's not what I want to do. I want to configure this switch. So I need to connect to a management port. And my management port is the console port. We've taken care of all of these things. Then that's physical connection established. Then I'll go back to the computer in order to establish logical connection. Go to the desktop, then go to terminal. I've talked about all of these things, settings. You just say, okay. And guess what? We are in the switch. When it says press return to get started, you just hit enter. And we're in the switch. We've taken care of all of these things. So now, I'm not going to be doing step by step like I did in the last class. I've done that. I did it the first time. I did it the second time by using that lab to those labs that I treated to explain. So I'm just going to go straight. So what do I need to do? I want to give this switch a name, enable. Then go to global configuration mode and say host name. Then say CCNA. That's first thing. Next thing, I want to put password on this. Line console 0. Let's say password, Cisco. Then login. Then I can come out of this place. I want to put privilege mode password. I will say enable. I've told you guys, I can say enable password. But then because I want my password to be encrypted, I will say enable secret. Let's say class. And then I can come down here, save my job. I'm done with this switch. Basic configuration. But I left something out deliberately. What did I leave out? Now, what I've done here now, basic configuration, I've not set time. I've not set binary MOTD. Those are some of the basic stuff you should set on your switch or on your device. I can as well do that, but I don't need those ones for this class. I just want to change the name of the switch, then password the console port, then password the privilege port. If I made the privilege, if I get out of this switch right now and try to enter, it's going to ask me for a password. So I'll say Cisco. If I try to go to privilege mode, then I'll say class. I am in the switch. So I'm done with the basic. But if you take a look at what I did critically, guys, I passworded the console. And I've explained in our last class. Console, we connected to the console port. When you password the console, you are simply passwording access to users mode. And I also passworded access to privilege mode. Those are the only two things I did. But the way this switch is right now, I have not set up the switch for telnet. How do I set up the switch for telnet? I need to configure line VTY. There are 16 of them, 0 to 15, but I only need one. I need to configure that line VTY. That I've explained before. I'm just emphasizing. How do I configure line VTY? I just need to enter into it, put a password, and then make sure I say login. That is first step to prepare the switch for telnet. The second stage of preparing this switch for telnet, the switch needs to have an IP address because I will use an IP address to telnet to the switch. Without an IP address, I can't telnet into the switch. Without an IP address, I can't SSH into the switch. So 2 days now to prepare this my switch for remote login. What we have right now is physical login through our console port. So I need to have a remote, I need to have a, I need to have the switch prepared for remote login. Because if we don't prepare this switch for remote login, Aliyu went to UK, problems start at home. He has to come back home before he can work on that switch. He cannot do anything because the switch was not prepared for remote login. I have some of my friends that manage like 5 to 10 sites. In just here, they have locations in Abuja, location in Kaduna, location in where again? I think in Gombe. And the guy is sitting there in just here. If there are issues, as long as that device has come online, is available online, it didn't die, and there's internet connection, he can enter from just here and do whatever he needs to do. So the remote login preparation or preparing the device for remote login is non-negotiable. It's very important for you. So I'm going to do the first. So 2 things needed to be done now for us to prepare this switch for remote login. Now, don't forget, our access is just through console before we access users mode. Even when we're coming back through the internet or remotely, we are still going to have access to users mode. The first line of access is users mode. The first line of access is users mode. The first line of access is users mode. So we need to prepare that one for the switch for that. And so watch out. I want to prepare this switch for remote login. Watch out, guys. Telnet precisely. I will say config T, that is configure terminal. Line VTY. If I put space bar right now. Oh, sorry. Line VTY, that is virtual terminal line. We have 16 virtual terminal line. 16 virtual terminal line. Look at them here. What does that mean? It simply means 16 people can log in remotely using different lines. Let's say when Benga is coming in, Benga is on line 0, Toby is coming, is on line 1, another person is on line 2, and so on and so forth. So 16 virtual terminal lines. For this class, I only need one. I can say line VTY 0. And guess what? Different lines can be given different passwords. I can say when Toby is coming in, he's using Cisco. When Benga is coming, he's using Toby. When Ali is coming, he's using Benga. I can give different terminal lines, different passwords. But all I need in this scenario is just one virtual terminal line. So I'll say line VTY 0. Then I'll say password. I'll put password. Now we're referring to somebody coming remotely. So let's try to give you a different password. Let's say the password to console is Cisco. So let's say this one is Cisco. When I'm coming here remotely, Cisco, and then I will say login. That is the first step to prepare this switch for remote login. If you forget to do this, if you don't configure line VTY, you cannot access this device remotely. Okay, so I can come out of this place. What is the next thing to prepare this device for remote login? This device needs an IP address. Any device without an IP address cannot be accessed remotely. So how do we give this switch an IP address? We go to an environment called virtual, what is that called? I forgot the terminology. I will remember. Interface VLAN. Interface VLAN. Let's say VLAN 1. We call it logical interface. Thank you. Logical interface. Interface VLAN 1. It is a logical interface, not a physical interface. So I can put my IP address. How will you know the IP address to put? Don't forget that based on our design, we'll have the main address for that network or for that local area network. We pick one of those addresses and give our switch. One will be on the router, the rest will be on the computers. So this switch will get an IP address from our network. So I will say, let's say, for example, 192.168.1. Let's say 254. Then subnet mask 255.255.255.0. I will hit enter, then I will say no shutdown. Take note. So 2 steps to prepare this device for remote login. 2 steps. Configure line VTY, put password, log in, give that device an IP address, and guess what? We're good to go. So right now, I can save my job. I am done preparing these guys for Telnet. I am done, guys. I'm done preparing these guys for Telnet. So let's test it and see if it will work. So right now, take note now, Telnet is not done through console cable. It is done through data connection, meaning what? We can have other switches, other computers right now. Let's say 4 different computers. Let me connect different computers. They can be in different departments, different department, different, as long as it's on your network. So you don't have to go to server room and connect to that device physically. That's my point. Console connection, you have to be in the server room physically to work on that device. But all of this one that you have here, these computers can be in anybody's office, in another building, another department. It makes no difference. Wherever you are in the organization, you can also have a remote login into this switch as if you are in the server room physically. That's what we are trying to achieve here. As a matter of fact, you may not even be within the organization. You may be outside. Like I said, Aliyo has come to UK. As long as you have public IP on that device, or we do what we call a port forwarding. These are things that we're going to talk about much later. You can access that device. So don't mix them up, please. When you want to telnet, we pass through the network connection, data connection, not through the console. So let me pick one of the device, computers here, and try to telnet from it. The device that I want to use to telnet must also have an IP address, because if you don't have an IP address, you are not useful on the network. So let's give this guy 192.168.1.2. They must be on the same network for this one. This is our lab. So right now, I've given this device an IP address, this computer an IP address. Let's say this is 2B. I've given this device this computer an IP address. So the rest also will have their own IP addresses. All the computers on the network must have their IP addresses. So what do we need to do next? First and foremost, before you telnet, confirm that you have reachability. Meaning what? Can you ping the device you want to telnet into? Okay, so I want to ping the switch from this computer. That's from Toby's computer. I will say ping 192.168.1.254, but that is the IP address of the switch. So I am texting for connectivity, and this happens at layer 3. I'm texting for connectivity. It happens at layer 3. Then I will hit enter. If I can reach that switch, then I can telnet into the switch. But if I cannot reach that switch, don't even think about telnet. If you can hit that switch, then you can telnet. If your layer 3 fails, forget about layer 7. So now you can see that I can reach that switch. The switch is replying. Why did we lose the first ping? You see, boils back to what I taught you about HAP. Because this computer needs to know the MAC address of the switch so that it can map it to its IP address. So if you go now to the HAP table right now, you see that this is the MAC address of the switch, and this is the IP address of the switch. If this computer does not know the MAC address of this switch, the first packet will be lost. Why? Because the computer will send a broadcast HAP request trying to get the MAC address of that switch, and the switch will respond back with its MAC address. Then this computer will map it together, put it in its HAP table, and that is when you can now get a reply. Since the switch now, the computer now has a subsequent ping, you are not going to lose anything. It's going to be successful. This is first stage. You ping that device you want to telnet into. Okay, now that ping is successful, let's try to now telnet, meaning let's establish a remote login into this switch. This time around, we're not using ping. Ping is at layer 3, ICMP, echo request. This one is telnet at layer 7. So I will say telnet 192.168.1.254. Telnet 192, meaning give me remote access into this device. And in case if that device has been configured for remote access, we're going to enter. If I hit enter right now, once you see user access verification, it's trying to give you access. They give me the password, and the password is Cisco. Guess what? Where will I get into? The same users mode. Cisco. The same users mode. Just as this time around, I didn't plug to the console port. I came through the spirit realm. Nobody see me, but I'm inside. So there are now 2 passwords now to access our users mode. One is Cisco. The other one is Cisco. So it depends on how I'm coming. If I'm coming in spiritually, I will use Cisco. If I connect to the console port physically, I will use Cisco. That is guy. I'm in. So whatever you are doing on that switch, physically through console port, you can as well do here now. See now, I am trying to go to privilege mode. It's asking me for password. There's only one password for privilege mode, which is class. So anything I want to do, show running config, So everything you do as if you are in the switch live, you are doing it. It's the same thing. The only difference is the mode of entering, the mode of access. One is physical, the other one is spiritual. Did that make sense to you guys? Any question? Because we're moving to the next one. Any question, guys?
No, sir.
Ali, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Toby, are you flowing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So can we proceed, guys?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is Telnet access. But guys, I've told you Telnet is not secure. So we don't want to use Telnet. So since we don't want to use Telnet, we want to now prepare this switch for SSH. SSH is secured shell. It gives you secure login, secure access to your device, whether to the switch or to the router. We want to use SSH. So how do we prepare this switch for SSH? So many commands. So take note, guys, take note. First and foremost, we need to create a local database. We need to create a local database. How do you create a local database? You know, when you talk about database, it's like having a storage where you have people's information, their password, username, password is resident on that device. So I'll go to Google configuration mode. I will say username. Watch out. Let's say Aliyu. Forgive me if I mess up the spelling of your name. Let's say password money. I can put another one. Username Toby password UK. I can put another name. Username Benga password. Benga, what should I put as your password? I want to see what you like. You like wristwatch. You like pounds. You want a currency that has some name, pounds sterling. So look at what I've done now. Show history. Do show history. I want to see the list of things that I just did right now. I have configured, build a database. And in my database, I have 3 users with 3 different passwords. 3 users with 3 different passwords. So it therefore means what we want to do right now, if Aliyu is trying to SSH into this router, into this switch rather, Aliyu is going to come in with his own username and with his own password. If Toby is SSH into this router called switch, she is going to come in with his own username, with his own password. So I'm creating a local database for users with different passwords to come in. So it's not about just one password for everybody coming in. Unlike what we have with Telnet. Telnet is the same password for everybody coming in. If I configure 16 virtual terminal lines and 16 people are logging in differently, they will all use the same password. So there is no distinction there. We can't differentiate who came in, who is out, and all of that one. Everybody's coming in with the same IP address, with the same password. No, SSH doesn't work that way. So that's the first thing to do. The next thing we do with SSH, preparing the switch for SSH, we need to create what is called a domain name. And the command to do that is IP domain name or something. Yeah, IP domain name, let's say CCNA. It's like, okay, you work in let's say in the University of Jos, UniJos. That domain where you work, where that device is, let's say it's a bank, GT. So you say IP domain name, GT. That's the way SSH works. There must be a domain name. You create a domain name. We are not done, guys. We need to generate what is called a crypto key. Crypto key is all about cryptography. If you have not done cybersecurity, you won't know the details of cryptography. Just take it from me. These are kind of signature or algorithm that will encrypt our SSH connection. Like algorithm that will encrypt our SSH connection. And the command to do that is crypto key generate RSA. Crypto key generate RSA. We are simply telling this switch, just generate a random algorithm to encrypt this conversation. Whenever anybody SSH into you, we hit enter. It will tell you, I can do 512 key combination. I can do beyond that if you want, but I'm okay with 512. I can't go into the details of this is like cryptography stuff. I'll hit enter. So I've created domain name. I've created my crypto key. I've generated a crypto key. And I'm almost there, guys. So what next do I need to do? This one has long steps. We created database. We created domain name. We generated crypto key. We go back to that line VTY. Because that is still the same line we are coming in with. We go back to that line VTY. It's going to give you some information to tell you SSH is enabled because we started it. And first of all, you say no password. That password we put earlier, we don't need it again. We can say no password. That's class we put. Is it class? Sorry, Cisco rather. Cisco. We don't need it again because now we have created a local database. We don't need that one again. That's number one thing. Get rid of that password. Even if you don't get rid of it, it won't spoil anything. Just is good. It's a good practice. Get rid of that password. That's number one. And now tell this line VTY, begin to use my local database. Don't make reference to the local password that you had before. I've removed it. Anybody coming in, consult my database for them to authenticate them for username and password. That is the essence of this login local. I will say login local. As I'm telling my line VTY now, don't use just this one password. Go to my database and check out username, password, username, password, username, password. And then you know what? If I like, I can stop here. But if I like, I can say, you know what? I don't even want you to give anybody access to Telnet. I want you to, I don't want Telnet completely. So I'll say transport, input, SSH. I'm telling that line VTY. On this line, no, the only connection that is accepted is SSH. I will hit enter. And guess what? I'm done. Let me recap again. I removed the password that was there before. I said, now make reference to my local database with login local. And I said, I only want SSH by putting transport input SSH. You know what? I'm done setting up this switch for SSH. I can save my work and leave it there. How do we demonstrate this? I can go back to that same computer we used to do Telnet earlier, which is Toby's system. So this time around, we are supposed to be out. I didn't even get out of this thing. Let me get out. Okay. Exit. Okay, I'm out now. I'm out of that switch. So this time around, I want to SSH into the switch. How do you SSH? I will say SSH -1. Take notes. SSH -1. I always miss this, whether it's -1 or -L. If it doesn't work, we use L. SSH -1. Who is the person coming in first? Maybe it's Toby. SSH, that is Toby, that is the username now. SSH -1, then the username, then the IP address of the switch, which is 192.168.254. If I hit enter right now, something is wrong. I think it's L. Let me see. Yawa, it's L, not 1. It's L. So look at what I did now. SSH-L Toby. That means that's the username I'm coming with. I want to access this IP address. This is my username. Then the next thing the switch is going to ask you, can I have your password? You remember Toby is UK. I'll put UK, hit enter, and guess what? Toby is in the switch. This is SSH connection now. This is a secure communication, a secure line. So whatever Toby is doing at this point in time with this switch now, even if somebody should grab it in between, the person cannot make sense of it. I can come out from here now and say, no, it's a different user that is coming in. SSH. Aliyu. He has his own password, which is money. Ali, what's that your password?
It's money, oh.
It's money. You see now, I'm in. You see, I am in now. So look at the prompt here. I am inside that switch. So I can begin to do whatever I want to do. Click enable. The password for privileged nodes is still the same. It's still the same. It's just the password for users mode that is different now because we have created database now and we have different users with different password, different users with different password, and so on and so forth. I can get out of this place now. Benga also can come in and say, okay, SSH dash L, then Benga is in. What's his password? Benga, what's that your password?
Also,
Okay, pounds, yeah. You see, Benga is in. So this is a switch with 3 different users, 3 different passwords to come in remotely using SSH. Now, this is if you use SSH from command prompt. What if, or let me say, well, not what if, we at least you do it this way. This is what we do. We launch PuTTY. I showed you guys PuTTY before. As long as that computer is, this computer is connected to the network, I will launch PuTTY. You can see that SSH is selected. Can you see SSH selected in my PuTTY? You guys can see that, right?
yes.
So we launch PuTTY. So what will I do with PuTTY? I will just put the IP address. As long as this my computer can ping that switch, I'll just put the IP address of that switch in PuTTY 192.168.1.254. And by the time I click open, now this won't work because I'm not in a live router. By the time I click open, it will give you access to that device. And you see that I selected SSH. This is what we do in the real world. We use PuTTY to access the live device. So PuTTY will give us an opportunity to use SSH. And you can even see there is serial there, and there's even serial connection. Serial is console. This serial you're looking at is console. Because I can use PuTTY to establish a logical connection. But once I'm done with logical connection, the console connection, and the switch has been configured with username and password and IP address, I don't need console again. I will continue using SSH all through the life of that device. You only use console for initial configuration. As a matter of fact, some devices nowadays come with default IP address, some switches and even routers. Default IP address, admin as username, I think username and password as admin. So you don't even go, you are not going to even use console. You will just plug them to the network and telnet or SSH into them with the IP address, with the username and password. Then you change your username and password, or you now configure all those like console 0, like VTY, every other. So you end up not using that console port because of the default IP address. That's the switch will come. And you can now change that default IP address. You change it when you save, it log it out, then you can come back with the new IP address. That's how most people. So, in other words, gradually they are getting rid of console connection, since the device will come with a default IP address. But you need to know that that is where we started the journey from. We started from that console, and we still use console till date. But gradually they are moving away from console. So this is how SSH connection looks like. So you need to know how to prepare your device for SSH. Yes, that's for connectivity. Benga, you have the floor.
I'm sorry, sir. I want to know what is the meaning of this -L, sir.
It's the command. That's how the command works. It doesn't have, there's no meaning attached to it. Let me say that I'm aware of.
Okay, sir. All right.
That's how the command works.
Okay.
Let me check it online. Any question, guys?
No question, sir.
Are we good?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Toby, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So that I will not come again and another
So at
that
least, okay.
you don't,
Sir?
that is not clear. Yes? Benga, I'm listening.
Sir,
Are you
sir,
asking? Yeah.
sir, please, I want to make I have one observation, sir. I say sometimes if I'm going through the video, the recording, your screen, some of the write-ups, I don't know, maybe it's from your setting. It's like blur, as in I'm not seeing them like fully, as in the thing is like maybe the
Okay, so what
write-ups
you
are
do
fading.
tell me the timing. Let me go and look for one at one of them so that I can understand what you're talking about. Open the same video, give me the time when you observe that.
No, like this one on on this screen
Are you
now.
talking of live?
No, the write-ups, the write-ups.
What about write-ups? Are you talking of the configuration? All this output,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Some of them
they are
are,
blurred.
they are not like showing very well. I don't know.
But when I
But
use PowerPoint, do you see my PowerPoint very well?
as if so, sir. Because this one, like some things, sometimes I have to like overcheck it, or I'll just conclude it as in the spellings, like. But some of them are just like
Are you
this
sure? Are you sure it's not your network? Toby, are
no,
you having the same problem?
No, sir. I can see it clear. I don't know
When
if
you
it's
are,
clear as well.
you are not wearing your glasses.
sir, I don't use glasses like this like sir, like this what's this IP address now?
Yeah.
This 192.16, the 8 is not that clear. The 6 too is like I don't know. Maybe it's
Okay,
from
what
I don't
about
know.
Aliyu? What about you? Can you see it clearly?
Yeah, I can see. So the thing is, usually the write-up in command prompt is like this. So
Oh, tell Benga, or you should get glasses like me.
I don't,
I think it's clear.
because some of them like the 9 like that my the like after that minus L1 Benga, even the Benga is not that clear. The this thing, some of the
Maybe
things
maybe
fade.
it's your network. Maybe it's your network.
Oh, I don't know,
Maybe
sha.
it's your network. Yeah, but so at least you know what we are doing. You understand what we are doing.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we are going to conclude soon. This is just the only thing I want to teach today. I don't want to add any other thing today. So after this, I'm going to send you guys 2 or 3 more labs that has to do with SSH, basic texting of switch connectivity, meaning what? Be able to ping from one computer to the switch, which I just demonstrated here. The essence of this thing is to put these commands at your fingertips. The more you do these labs, the more you know it. If you have done these things once, please go back and do the labs again. I'm talking of even the previous one. I can guarantee you, when you grab this concept and you see that the secret is lab, that's why you hear us in IT field, we say lab, 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 lab. We can never overemphasize it. Lab, 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 lab. When I give you any assignment, doing it the first time is not the best. Only one time is not the best. Minimum 2 times. Because the more you do this, you want to say, this is what this guy, this thing is even simple now. Why was I having an issue doing it? That's how it is. Lab, lab, lab. So when you don't even do it at all, you're not even helping yourself. You're not helping yourself at all. So you have to do these things again